Hi everyone, thanks so much for coming to my YouTube channel. My name is Lexash, and today, once again, I'm going to be reviewing pictures from my past. I think that's a bit of a dramatic way to say it, but that's how I'm choosing to say it today. For those who are new here, welcome. For those who have been here before, welcome back. Um, Today, again, I'm going to be editing. Actually, not editing. I'm going to be reviewing and critiquing pictures from way back when I used to do photography as far back as 2014, and I'm going to be thinking and talking about how I'm going to do them if I had to shoot them today or edit them today. So let's get right into it. The first image I'm going to be showing you is this picture of my friend Ojima. Oh, I need to check up on her. I've not spoken with her in a while. I need to text her. Strong reminder. So yes, I'm going to be this picture of Ojima. This was in 2014. I went to visit her in her office, and being the busybody I was, I said, you know what? I had my camera with me. Let me take some pictures of you, and that's how we shot these images. It's purely natural light, and we said like very close to a window. I just loved the way the light hit her eyes, and till now I still love this image. I feel like obviously I would do better to retouch this image if I had the choice to. um I would of course light it better, maybe use a little bit of a reflector on the right side just so that that highlight on her cheek is a bit stronger. But I love this image. I love the way the light hits her eyes. I love how it looks and feels. I would just do better with the retouching, make sure that the skin work is better done, because you can see it looks very over softened. And of course, you can see my old logo, what it looks like right there. So just basically my name, nothing extra. That was before I got what I use right now. But yeah, this is as old as 2014. You guys are seeing the real thing, like from when I first started. Yeah, so that's this image. Yeah. So yes, like I said, I would probably just add, like I said, a reflector to enhance this highlight here, you know, and then I would smoothen the skin, because as you can see, there's not like it's over smoothing. I would make it look better. I'll remove all these blemishes as well, just to kind of make it more professional, make it better, make it more modern and basically better, altogether better. I've said better like how many times now? Yeah. So yeah, those are things I'll do. Of course, I'll add a little bit more contrast as well. I feel like the image is a bit too flat, so it feels very no contrast in the image. So that's another thing that I'll do, so that the hair can be blacker, and then add some highlights to the background, so there's a lot more separation, because right now the skin and her and the wall look kind of very similar in tone. So I would just do a little bit of that for this particular image. The next image I'm going to be working on is another look from 2015. So I had just gotten back from my National Youth Service Corps in Lagos, in Abuja, and I moved back to Lagos, and I met Jennifer in Lagos, and she agreed to model for me. I remember I went to Unilag, it's a university, well, the biggest university in Lagos, right? So I went to her school, and we shot at this amphitheater area, and I remember loving these pictures. Looking at it right now, I think that they could be way better. First of all, I see that there's no, first of all, her expression could be way better. I think I might have more pictures from this look, but I just decided to pick this one because I remember loving it at the time. So I'd have directed her to, pose a little bit more dramatically, maybe to get some flow in her outfit here. Also, I'll probably, get more details in the clouds. You can see this cloud here is just blending the blue background. I think I would have done that better. Also, I'd have done, at this point, I wasn't doing any skin retouching, so I'd have done some skin retouching as well. Yeah, and then I also add a little bit more contrast to the steps, just so that she's kind of more separated. So I'm by probably light her, just so it feels more separation from the background. But yeah, I remember I really loved this image. Looking at it right now, man, I've come a long way. I think this next picture is also from the same shoot as well, but a different outfit. Yes, it was from the same day. As you can see, I tried to do some work on the skin, but it wasn't proper skin retouching. I just used this application called Makeup Tool that was on my Windows laptop at the time. And yeah, the makeup was just, you can see a totally different color from her body, from the rest of her body. And I would have, right now, if I was to edit this picture, I still think the picture is a very, very nice picture. It would be the intensity of her eyes, the colors, and this, the tones. I remember I also added a flash. You can see there's a shadow behind. If I had known better, I would have lit it better. I would have pointed it from up, giving her like a Rembrandt lighting type of thing. This was still outdoors though. The main light was natural light, but I used like the flash to fill in. I was just still learning, you know. So like I said, I would do better skin retouching so that it doesn't look this weird. As you can see, it just looks very pasty. And then of course, you know, remove some of these blemishes as well. And of course, when I'm shooting, the composition would have been better. I can see that there's something here that I didn't take out, and I would have just, you know, found a way to, you know, increase the size of the image altogether, because like it looks like I'm cutting away some of her shoulder and some of her hand right here as well. So I would have done that better as well. So yeah, obviously when you are shooting at, when I was shooting at this time, I didn't think about a lot of these things because I didn't know them. This is stuff that you learn with experience, like I said in the previous video. Then fast forward to 2016, when I had this shoot with my friend Rejoice. Rejoice and I are still friends still today. We don't talk as much, unfortunately, but I still, you know, we still talk. When we do talk, it's like we never stop talking. She's a good friend of mine. Beautiful, beautiful Rejoice. At this point, you know, she came. I think we shot it at a friend's office in Ikeja. I loved the way the light was coming and hitting her. I think I had a reflector to kind of bounce some of that light back into her face. I also like the way the lens is flaring, as you can see. I had my logo at this time, so it's 2016, so it was already, you know, I was already kind of learning a little bit more. I wasn't retouching at this time still, so you can see that the skin is not retouched, but she has beautiful skin. She has always had beautiful skin, so I didn't have to do too much to retouch it, and I still love this image right till now. I think what I would do is that I would, if I was to shoot this again, I would light it better so that I didn't have to get these extreme highlights on her hair. I still like it though. I still like it, but I feel like I would have liked the highlights to be there, but not this much, not this high, you know, just so that it feels more natural and less, you know, overexposed. But I still love the colors of this image. I love the makeup on her face. I love the way the lens is flaring. I still love this image, I say. Yeah. And then for this next image, also in 2016, I think that what I would have done better for this shoot is I would have planned for it better. I didn't know the shoot was going to go till late. So we ended up shooting it in the night around 7 p.m. If I had known, I would have had my tripod with me, because now if you look really closely, you would find out that the picture is a little bit noisy and out of focus because I shot handheld. And yes, I could have insisted on using, you know, just intensifying the artificial light that I added, just so that it would come out. But the problem is that I didn't want to lose all of this light that was coming in the background, which would have been drowned out by the intensity of the flash I was using at the time. But I wanted the glow of the night lights, the cars passing in the background, the buildings and all of those things, and the reflection in the water. And I feel like they added to this image. So because of that, I didn't want the flash to be really strong. So I just took my ISO really down and my shutter speed really down, and then made the flash to just come just very little, so that it lights her and, you know, still separates her from her. So I still love this image. I just would have been more intentional about taking a tripod, so even when I take a picture, you don't see this motion blur that's causing me to lose some of these details. But I still love these pictures. I love the colors. I love the background. I think another thing that I would have done would be this particular light that is green. I would have tried to make it to match this orange light, just because I feel like this orange light looks way better, but the green light coming from like the fluorescents and the LEDs in on this building, you know, kind of just adds a little green tone that I'm not feeling right now. So another thing that I would have done in post would have been to, cause it to, use like a hue and saturation tool to change the color. So let me just try to see what that looks like. I'm sorry that I'm going to detail, but yeah, I think this might be very interesting. So the greens here, I could just say, okay, so it's not seeing it as green. Let me expand to cyans and let me see if that's okay. So maybe it's not in any of them, but I think that what I can just do is I can just come here to the master and change the color altogether. It will affect everything, but okay, so now it's somewhere in the orange zone. I like that. I'm going to enhance that again, and I'm going to invert it so that it only, and then brush it back in so that it only affects this part that I'm talking about. Okay, so now it's a little bit red. I'm going to balance that out in post in a little bit. So it's a little too red, so I can take this back. So something like that. There we go. So something a bit warmer. Let me take this here. And go to the greens. I think the greens here. Let me take it back to here. Alright. Almost done. There we go. So now it's a little bit more balanced. I'll have, taking more time to make the changes, but as you can see, giving way more balance to it. Now it feels like all of the background has a warm tone to it and just beautifully complements my subject. I still love this image. Ifeoma is a beautiful, beautiful model. I know she doesn't model anymore, boss woman at this time, but still love the image and loved shooting it as well. Yeah, that's 2016. I think this was also from 2016 as well. A friend of mine was in Nigeria visiting, and I decided I was going to take to. We decided to have coffee, and while we were at the coffee place, I liked the way the night lights were, so I decided to take her outside of the building and take some pictures of her. And my oh my, the pictures are beautiful. I think if there was a little bit more intention to it, I would have more light hitting her face, and I would adjust the color tones just so that her skin tones are not looking washed and too yellow, which is not real to her skin tone. But I love all the colors in this image aside from her face. I love all the colors of the red dress against the blue background. It just gives a very beautiful, beautiful image. Even this magenta, tone as well, and the teal, it all just works. I think, like I said, I'll just change the tone, the skin tone, just so that it feels more natural to her face, to her natural tone. That's it. I really love this image. I think I could also have composed it better. I can see that there's a little bit of a tilt to the image, but nothing that cannot easily be adjusted in post. So that's another thing that I would adjust to this image. Yeah. Yeah, this image was also, I think, 2016 as well. I think this was from 2016 as well. I still wasn't retouching at this time. This a friend of mine had invited me, a photographer, to something she called Sip and Shoot. Was it Shoot and Sip and Shoot? And she had a bunch of her friends come around as well to kind of get pictures, their portraits taken while they drank wine and networked and all of that. And I liked the setup. There was this beautiful space that I saw that had a lot of natural light. I'll never forget this space. Right now it's like an exhibition space in Lagos here, but at the time it was just a very simple space that people lived in. Yeah, so I remember that I took this picture of my friend who came as well for the event, and I really really love this image. What I'd have done differently with this image is I would have retouched the skin and made sure that her skin tone was original, and I'd have reduced the intensity of the blacks as well. But yes, that's pretty much it. I really really like this image. Even now, I like the colors of the background, the way her pose is, her smile, everything, and with just a little bit of extra experience related adjustments to it that I would change. Yeah. And then this is also 2016. Beautiful model, beautiful image, beautiful space. I remember I shot this with a flash in one dance studio that I found, that a friend of mine found actually, and invited me to. And I just loved the colors on the walls of the space. And I was like, you know what, I want to shoot here. And they let me. And I brought the model. I remember I had told her that I wanted something. We didn't have a makeup artist on ground, so I think she did her makeup. It wasn't great, and the skin tone was different from her body. But I think, we're all just, making the most of what we had. Um, if I was doing this differently right now, I would probably light it way better because I like the color of the background. I like the chair she's sitting on. I just feel like the lighting could have, separated her a little bit more. I feel like the colors could have been better done. I feel like the skin retouching would have taken this to the next level. Of course, some of the poses were off as well too, but that's also on me because I didn't direct it right and I didn't see it right. So just some very technical changes that I would make here and there, and that's it on this image. Um, yeah. So the next one, this I had started retouching. It was 2017. I had just finished we had just finished from a fashion week, and Julia Bannerman was still in Lagos. She's Ghanaian, and I had met her in Ghana when I visited Ghana sometime earlier in the year. Now she was in Lagos and she reached out to me and I decided, you know what, I was going to shoot her, and I shot her in this place where I had like friends working in Ikoyi, and I just liked the way the light was coming in and passing through the trees in the compound, and just pure sunlight. And I was, like I said, I had started retouching at this point, and I just retouched, and I still like this image. Still, no, I love this image. I love the way the light is. I think the blacks are a little too black, but that's it. But otherwise, I really still love this image. I love the way her skin tone looks. I love the way the retouching looks on her skin. It will definitely be better now. Learned a few more things. I like the way the background frames her. I just love this image. I don't think I'll change much about it except maybe reduce the blacks and do better with the retouching. But that's pretty much it. I really still love this image. And finally, for today, this image was also 2017, and I think this image was the first image I retouched. Well, actually, the first shoot I retouched because it was part of the images from the first shoot I ever retouched. I remember I had gone to see a friend, photographer friend, Eleanor Goody, in her space, and you know what? And me and Prince, we were like, let's shoot while we're there. So he was shooting somebody else in the studio. I decided to go outside, and I saw the way the sun was coming down. I was like, you know what? I want to play with this. And she had this really big diffuser and reflector. So I was like, you know what? Let's take that reflector and point some of this sunlight into the shady area, and that's how we created this gorgeous, gorgeous highlight here. That's how we created this highlight here. As you can see, the sun was more coming from the left, and but then there was a shade right above her, so it wasn't hitting her directly, but you could still see some of the rim on this side of her body. But all of this light coming hitting her is from the very large reflector. I love reflector. I love playing around with reflectors, and I love creating different silhouettes with it. So I remember if I could you know what, I'm actually going to get that kind of reflector again just so that I have it for myself, because playing around with, sunlight and natural light and, creating some very interesting, beautiful light fall on the subject is just something that I love. And I still love these images till day. Like I said, this is the first image that I retouched. So if I zoom in, you can see that it was very, very haphazardly done. You can still see some scars, some, poor clone stamp work. I remember that I used my mouse because I didn't have a Wacom tablet at the time. And so you can see that I created that. It wasn't perfectly done. There's some over smoothing places. There's some parts that I didn't even smoothen at all. There's some, yeah, it was poorly done. But this was, again, I didn't have the experience to retouch at the time, so I was not retouch. I didn't retouch it well. So of course, right now, another thing I would do better on this image is I'll do better retouching, and I'll do probably. I still love the lighting, but I would do better with the color grading because you can see her skin. There's too much magenta in the skin. It's too much magenta in the skin. I would, change that. I'll probably maybe do some more work on the background because, like, I was trying to get some of the sun back in, some of the clouds back in, some of the blue skies back in. And I think I overdid it. I over saturated the sky So now it looks very teal and blue in a very unnatural way, and also has this weird effect on the edges of the background, which I put there, and also this scaffolding thing that was in the back. But so if I was to do this today, I would definitely, of course, I would probably take the scaffolding and this building out because I feel like it distracts from the image, and then I would make the sky feel more natural, and then I would do better with the skin retouching as well. But I still love the lighting. I also would change the color grading as well. Like I said, there's too much magenta in the skin. But that's pretty much it. I still love this image. I still love the images from this shoot, and all this to say basically that I didn't learn all I have learned so far in one day. It took me a while to get to this point, and I'm still learning as I go. So give yourself grace again. Give yourself the time to learn and grow as as you practice, and just keep doing, and don't shy away from sharing your work as you go, because part of that, because I remember when I put out these pictures in 2017, everybody loved them. It was basically a new frontier for me, because it was like the first time I was retouching. I loved them at the time, and I know other people did as well. And now that I'm doing even better work, there's still people who love them, and just learning and growing as I go, and not neglect, and not forgetting to try and keep improving. Yeah, that's it. And that's another one for today. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. I hope this was informative and exciting for you. I hope you like the images, even though they're old and they are, stale. But at the same time, this is the process. This is what it looks like, growing, learning, and pushing forward. Till next time, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. If you want me to do more stuff like this, comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. If you want to laugh at my images, I want to see your laughter in comments below. If you want to share it and say this is what Lex was doing back then, please do share it. I look forward to seeing your comments and your thoughts. And till next time, it's your favorite photographer friend, Lex Ash.